Hello friends, today I will be doing a review of Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Let's listen to Past Me tell you what Red Queen is about. The description on Goodreads says it's Graceling meets The Selection. Stop it. I'm gonna ignore that description. Really what this book is about is a society where there are two kinds of people. The red bloods are commoners and the silver bloods are the elite. The silver bloods get superpowers and the red bloods get to be poor. The protagonist's name is Mare Barrow, and I'm ignoring that too because it sounds way too much like marrow, like blood. So Mare is a red blood who has superpowers, and that is like not supposed to be a thing that can happen, and that sets the story into motion. As far as I can tell, reviews have been a little bit mixed, with more people saying positive things about Red Queen. Lots of 4 and 5 star reviews on Goodreads. I am solidly down the middle, between 2 and 3 stars, which I considered it was okay to it was good. I just have some issues that we will discuss in this video. Number 1, the beginning is super slow. I happen to be reading this at the same time that I'm reading a Game of Thrones for GOT read along, and I know it's probably unfair to compare these two, but because I was reading them together, it was super easy to compare the world building, especially in the beginning of both of these books. The first about like 50 pages are just jam-packed with very useful information, and it helps build the story afterwards, but it's spoon-fed to us. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like if you want your information up front and you don't like the Game of Thrones style where he just like lays these people and this world and these facts on you, but trust the audience and the reader to eventually work it out and just kind of come into the world on their own. Red Queen is totally different. It lays the world out there for you, what you get of the world, and then it builds the story after that. I don't prefer that way. I don't like being spoon-fed, and on top of that, I feel like it drags the story back and it really slowed down the beginning of it. Speaking of subtlety, number 2, there is a lack of it throughout the writing as a whole. Here are a few passages that I highlighted. This is all from the first chapter, within a couple of pages of each other actually. He honestly wants to see blood, silver blood stain the arena. It doesn't matter that the blood is everything we aren't, everything we can't be, everything we want. He just needs to see it and trick himself into thinking that they are truly human, that they can be hurt and defeated. But I know better. Their blood is a threat, a warning, a promise. We are not the same and never will be. Next page. This is the true division between silvers and reds, the color of our blood. This simple difference somehow makes them stronger, smarter, better than us. Next page. Silvers aren't supposed to die here. Silvers are supposed to fight bravely, to flaunt their skills, to put on a good show but not die. After all, they aren't reds. Next page. In school, we learned about the world before ours, about the angels and gods that lived in the sky, ruling the earth with kind and loving hands. Some say those are just stories, but I don't believe them. The gods still rule us. They have come down from the stars. They are no longer kind. So within 3 pages, do you get it? The silvers have the power and they're flaunting it, and it's just kind of like beat over the head. And it's nothing wrong with that writing, but just this isn't an isolated example. So after time and time and time of that kind of just like super blatant writing, it really started to wear on me. Speaking of the writing, number 3, there's a plainness in her writing. Not all writing has to be award-winning or flowery for that matter. Simple can be good, simple can be excellent. However, the simplicity in language coupled with the plainness in writing and the lack of subtlety really came all together to create this sense that you've read this story before. And I mean, you have. Poor main characters suddenly discover some hidden abilities, and there is a change in their scene. There's a change in where they are as their lot in life kind of improves just because of change in geography, and they have to take on some sort of system or evil in that new surrounding with their newly discovered powers. Like, that is a super basic premise, and it's not bad for people to recycle. There's only so many premises that we do read about and recycle in stories. I think the reason people are taking issue with it here, even though they've read the story tons of times in other writing, is because there's nothing to set the writing, or the characters for that matter, apart. The simple language gives a sense of familiarity to the writing that makes you think, I've actually read these words before. Number 4, the main character for me was just okay. Probably is very difficult when you have a main character who has had a hard lot in life to toe the line between legitimate jadedness and being whiny. And to me, Mare fell on the side of whiny more often than not. Mike from Slice of Mike described her as a very whiny Pikachu, and no true words have ever been spoken. I will link his review in the description as well because it gives a great one. She has super legit reasons to complain. Her life has been terrible, and in the story it's not getting any easier, but the way that it comes across, because she's so one-dimensional to me, is super whiny. If you ask me to describe Mare, I really wouldn't be able to. Some people might say that she's selfless, but because that selflessness is mostly directed towards her love square, it constantly looks like she's acting out of emotions instead of selflessness. Speaking of the love square, number 5, I hated everything about Mare's relationship with the princes. This could get very spoilery very fast, so I'm just gonna leave it there. Mare is in their company for about a month, and it makes her decisions and how she bases them completely mind-boggling to me. Get a hold of your emotions, lady. Plus, I was kind of icked out because they are brothers. Stop kissing brothers, please. Weird. Number 6, every other girl in the story besides Mare was a bitch. An argument could be made for Mare's sister and mother, who we meet at the beginning of the story, that they're fine characters. Even in the brief glimpse that we got of them, they both expressed negative feelings towards Mare in one way, shape, or form. So all of the females basically are negative toward our main character. There are strong female characters in this book for sure, like very skilled, very strong women, but they're all one-dimensionally bitchy. In a story full of one-dimensional characters, the females come out worse because the males need to at least have a semblance of a inner turmoil kind of thing so that they can be love interests for the main characters, because if they're fully bad or fully good, then it's no contest. There has to be that war. So of course the guys get fleshed out a little bit more, but all of the females, I hate it so much. Number 7, and I think finally, there are some really big themes that are introduced by the story because we have a caste system, because there is forced servitude. There are really big ideas about what it means to be different, especially in the society where the difference is lorded over a group of people. I have to at least commend Aveyard for trying to explore the idea that there are good silvers, just like there are good and bad people in everywhere. That point is a little bit undercut at the end when we discover the true silver antagonists, and they are completely mustache twirling villains. And also because the way that she tries to portray the goodness within the silver is super flat again. Basically, he smiled at me and it was super warm. Oh, some silvers are good. Or he's a father. And Mare isn't a very decisive character. She's a really weird character to put at the front of this kind of revolution or difference or whatever it turns out to be, because there's no conviction behind her actions. She's very wishy-washy, and if she had made a decision and it was a mistake, but she had believed in the thing that she was doing, then we can stand behind her more firmly and say, it's okay, every character makes mistakes and that's how they grow. But instead what we get is she's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And more often than not, she relies on the males around her to kind of infuse strength. And the number of times we got a scene of somebody holding her hand to strengthen her or steady her so she wouldn't fall and be weak in her knees was just mind-boggling to me, and that is not the kind of female character that I want at the head of my uprising. The world is very laid out for you, like she explains everything, but there is no background to it. There's no explanation. There's no history at all. It's just like, these are the things that are. We might get a taste of that later on down the line in the series, but it leaves something to be desired definitely in this first book. I was at least intrigued enough that I needed to finish the story. I needed to find out what happened. It was a little bit predictable. Nothing too shocking or twisty-turny happens, but I still am interested in continuing. Like, I would like to know what happens in this world to these characters. Like, yes, I want to know what happens to them. I'm not super attached to any of them. Like, they could all die and I'd be like, hey, that's a thing. So if you're kind of on the border, you don't know whether or not you want to read this, I would at least say that it is super easy to get through, and it at least has enough action and forward motion that it will propel you to the end for sure. I actually have a book club meeting in like half an hour to discuss this book, and I just finished it this morning, and I just recorded this video, so this is gonna be great. I'm gonna have all my thoughts and all my words right on the tip of my tongue. I'm gonna actually bring my camera and be like, guys, come watch this video. You wanna hear my thoughts? I probably won't do that. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys soon. It really highlighted the lack of subtlety. I have to say that word a lot in this video. Subtlety. Someone put a B